Hello everyone, my name is Mark Trider, aka Marcus Aurelius. This video is to show you what I did during the year of COVID with my granddaughter Aslan and my grandnephew Tyler. We made a world in Minecraft here, and I took off and kept on going. I needed some help from my daughter-in-law Erica at first because I had no idea what to do, and I kept hitting things and nothing happened. She told me finally I had to just hold the button down, and that way I could actually mine something because I kept dying the first night, didn't have anything to do there. This is the first base of operations I had, and we'll start here for the tour. And get it right. Now it's a gateway, but it did start out as my first underground place. Erica started a world with me here. She said it looked pretty good. There was a village nearby, and that was a kind of a nice thing. And so we came out, and we regenerated by water over there next to the village, and we jumped in that house underneath the cross, and we found a natural cave system right here, and that is the gatehouse, and that started a rather large enterprise here. This is kind of my home base here, and that's what I'm going to give you the tour of. First thing I did was mine down here. I did make some gatehouses, got them rather elaborate, and made my first station underground here because I thought that bad things were out there. Found out some of the lighting criteria that was needed here, and we started mining in this nice ravine here that was underground. Thought it was pretty picturesque. Went all the way down there. Erica found most of the diamonds, I didn't, but had another couple ways down here that I explored. Again, going down through the natural cave system pretty much and just hugging to it as I worked my way down and in. That was rather hard. It made for a real labyrinth of cave systems going back and forth. And as you know, these things intersect. First way went down to this side here, which is where the gold arrow is. Then I made a wood path here, went this way, and then down there. And I finally got tired of all this windingness, and I decided to make, let me get to the point of it, I'll just make a grand staircase, and that's what I did. So I just came down here. I wanted to get down to level 11 for my mining operation, because I'm looking for the elusive diamond. Out of all the workstations I had, number 4, this was the final entry here. Normal accoutrements here. We got some chests to store things in, a bed to recuperate in, some chests to make things. I wanted to make Grimly the dwarf proud. I made nice airy areas here. Erica told me about this nice 1 and 3 system. I took it up. I would make it about 3 blocks high, starting at level 11, and I could get around fairly easily. This is an extensive system that I have here. Staircase goes up to the second level, level 4. And I would cool the lava down, looking for lava beds to again make, to look for diamond, because you usually find that around the smaller ones, as my son would say. Again, found a decent amount of diamond in here. The first thing I made, of course, was a diamond pickaxe. Hi there, fella. Going up here, we'll go back outside. The whole point of mining was to build stuff, and that I did. And the first thing I wanted to build that I got up here, because I did have most of my house down here, was the Tower of Mordor. And so we did, or I did, and I made the Tower of Mordor here. This is not the first way up, but it ended up being pretty much how I did it. And if you're going to make a medieval tower, which I wanted to do, I did the core here of 2 by 2, so that's 4 square. 2 blocks up for the steps, a little landing of 2 by 2, and keep going. And when you make your medieval tower and you want to protect the princess at the top, you make the stairs wind up this way, so any attacker coming in, hugging the corner, can't throw a sword. But as the defender going down, you had the advantage of hugging the corner and swinging your sword. Just note if you ever want to build a medieval tower to hide your princess in. Came up here to level 120. It seemed like a nice round number. Thought I'd have a majestic view. And here's where I found out that basically Minecraft limits how far you can see. But from here I do have a very good advantage, and I went very Romanesque and made some roads. First roads were, oops, a little down. Hold on. Thank you. Thank you. The first road were all on the ground. And first place I went to, because I was looking for glass, was this little place over here. Simple little station where I didn't have to go back and forth every day. Just very simple. A bed, for respawning. You got a chest to hold stuff in. And all I was doing out here was getting sand. So I leveled a couple of hills off here is what I did. My nephew Tyler was with me at the time. And he built this house over here, or a house, and I took it over when he kind of left the game, and I did something a little bit nicer with it. I made it a 4-gable house. I put my little parapets out there to shoot things at, built a bridge across the ravine to a loft. Tyler had mined out a lot of diamond in here. There's a good bit of railroad stuff in here, which is kind of neat, and we used that. Found some diamond in here, which is pretty good. And what I did is I came in here and I picked something up. And I made a railroad system here. And I just took the railroad car the last time. So what we'll just do is fly along here. It's a little faster anyway. But have a nice railroad system. And this was a nice underground way to get back to the main fort. This 4x4 block system here, dunning tunnels, is something I did to get material. And so I'm looking for cobblestone in order to make all my elevated roadways. And so this is a nice way to do that. Finally, this connects with some of the other tunnels I have underneath here. Not a big deal, but I made another sort of a grand staircase going diagonal back and forth because I had to go all the way from the bottom to the top here. And so this is it. So a lot of room, and that means I have a lot of material in order to make my roads. Going up to the castle, everything again is connected underneath. Standard fare here for me again, all your raw materials on the bottom, your workstations, furnaces, like lava, that does a really good job of making stuff, pretty good. And the top floor here, of course, living quarters, finished goods. You got something to restore here. Got to have stuff for enchanting. Big thing here, so I got all my bookcases all finished up. Do like that. Other things over here, of course, I have my animal goods here. Do lots of cooking here. My bed here, valuables in here. This is the little treasure chest. Got some records, and the record player does play. So that was good. Now that I had my thing here, and I was kind of set, and I don't think I can get out from here, can I? No, I cannot. No headroom. So let's go out this way. Up on top, met an observatory type of thing here. What I started doing was using these steps, and I could crouch down and shoot from here. That became sort of something I did. Later on, the observatories themselves over the gatehouses, there's one to the original one, plus I made one out here to the east. Worked good. I made a third one here, giving up on all that glass feature because it really wasn't that useful. Looking out, just look out. But this became a real good killing point here. So finally I came up into here. What I like about this, and this is a great killing field at night, there's a lot of things spawning here when you jump out here, and nice wide open spaces. Mostly I'd be over that plane right there and have lots of room. But I could also shoot out from here, and witches can't shoot up to here. That's a nice thing. The next thing I wanted to do, I got some horses here, of course. I made a roadway going out to Sand City. And this was a kind of a neat place here for me. And I didn't really, the first village, they all died because I didn't know to protect them. These people died because I didn't know about bad juju. And I killed a pillager captain and came into town. And of course, then I had to suffer through all the raids. Tyler and I wanted to get the pillagers after that, so we did. We made the first thing I did in sort of branching out. I made my first outpost here, and this was basically to take on a pillager fort that was located over there by the trees. This has all the workings of home here. You got a couple beds for me and Tyler, and one of the first times I died because I went to bed and the ceiling was only 2 meters high, and there was actually a ceiling right there where I'm pointing. And I woke up standing on my bed with my head in the ceiling, and I died. And I hate doing that. Little loft up here to shoot from the outside. And unfortunately, last time I punched the gate instead of using it. After that, decided to branch out a little bit more, and went to the south here, and I was looking for stuff with the temples. So I made another roadway, lit it up. This took about a game week to do, about 3 hours in real time or so, maybe more. And I made another tower. This is the Tower Sauron, a little bit minor. It basically said, I don't have to chase my tail going up to 120 meters. Isn't really necessary, don't need it. But I did like my little shooting parapets. Use those out here on the side. The first floor has all your basic necessities for doing things, chest for mining. In the back, I have a bed. Got my trophies there with my pillager flags I got all adorned all over the place. Of course, I have a spiral staircase going down and a spiral one going up. And on this one, I used to light it up a little bit more in the desert. I just used wool to have a nice canopy there. The nice thing here was a ravine. And in here, I built a couple observation decks. Had a few ways up and out. Here I built a trap for the pillagers that like to get trapped in this ravine. And there still is a guy, there's one guy in here. And if I were to show up in the survival mode, the other guy would jump down in there and I'd trap him as well. Substation, which I'm want to make from time to time. I have a few of them all around the place. Started out mining here normally. Hi, Mr. Slime Monster. Ended up going down in this ravine with another sort of a grand staircase idea. And came in here, did most of my mining down here. Again, down at level 11. Found some diamond here, not enough. And sort of gave up on this place here. Still early in the game. Did not know as I was building things that I was creating problems. So even though I had a bridge across the River Kwai here, I went over and tried to save this village and I was too late. My presence and building my castle had already obliterated these people, and even though I tried to save them, there's only like one guy left somewhere in here. Got some pillagers running around. I'd kill him, but what's the sense? It's creative mode. So, going to work our way back to the north here. And down south was kind of neat. I found some temples, and I was looking for a new biome. And so from my outpost, I thought I'd branch out like the Roman Empire. And from here, I made a simple roadway. It wasn't really dispensing with the gravel because that just took too long. But I did clear out the trees so I have enough room. Didn't like the mob spawning. Still didn't have the wherewithal to save this village either. There may be one farmer in there, maybe. And I came over here just for grins, and I decided to make an outpost here. And looked like an interesting biome, a little bit different. And I made this very tall thing here without a tower. I just said, let me just, instead of building a whole tower, I'll just do that. Have a small observation deck here. Of course, you have all the accoutrements of home in here. There is a bed in here. And of course, a couple of chests, table, things like that. I haven't still gotten to explore these caves here, but it looks kind of interesting. From here, looking around in creative mode, which is a neat thing to do, just take your seed number and make a new game in creative mode and fly around. And I found a ravine and a temple down here. I said, I want to go get that. So, made a roadway, and then I took the time here to do this with gravel because at that time I thought I'd get lost in the sand. So, made it out of gravel, came down here to this little ravine here where I saw some diamond. And of course I have a substation there underground. And then went down here, found a bunch of railroad stuff. Made staircases, winding down and getting into, of course, the bottom level where I really wanted to be. And I Swiss cheesed it using that 1 and 3 principle, trying to find the elusive diamond. Just only found a few blocks. Because diamond's so rare, now I enchant stuff. And what that does is at least allows me to get many several diamonds off of that. From here, I proceeded on down. I saw an Inca village, and I thought I'd go, maybe get a little different material here. Made a simple pathway here, just lighting it up so enough that I can see it. And by the time I got to the Inca village, even though I was far enough away from it, they were all dead already. There was nobody here. I continued on to the temple, which I raided, and raided about 4 of these temples altogether. But I made a roadway past this one, and I saw another sand city. And I said, well, maybe I can do better with this sand city. Still in the experimental mode. Made a simple road, again, fairly wide open. Didn't want to spend a lot of time on it. Made it wide enough that I could see what was going on, and didn't do any gravel here because that just becomes a labor-intensive process there. So I just got the sand basically straight. Evidently a creeper was, that's a cave system. I haven't explored that. But coming through here, made a simple pathway, dug through a hillside, crossed a little river, and I came in here, and there were like 3 guys in here when I got here, and by the time I had it all walled off, 2 of them had escaped. There's only that guy there now left. He's all by himself. So I can't really do anything. He's got a lot of cats and cows. I did take over one of the houses that wasn't being used. Found this nice ravine in here. It had some railroad stuff in it. I thought that was kind of neat. Made a substation and mined the heck out of it. In here, went through there. Using the lamps more for directional things, how to get in and out the labyrinth. From this spot, in creative mode, I saw another sand city to the south. So I made a road to it. And this time I actually spent the time to widen the road a little bit, keep things from dropping in on me unexpectedly. Did line it with gravel just for fun. And my daughter-in-law, Erica, helped me out quite a bit. We saved this town. And what happened here is now everybody is actually productive. Everybody has a job. I got the whole place walled off, lit up to the max. I even built 3 houses out here at the end for them. And there's actually 2 more people than there are beds in here, because my beds, being right next door, 1 and 2 here, count towards their thing where they're actually procreating. My first shooting gallery here was a little bit too low, and wizards could get me. And this is another great killing field for mobs at night if you want to get a lot of quick experience points. Later on, of course, I tunneled down in a spiral tower, and I went up in a spiral tower to show my dominance against the thing. And I have a little bit higher area here. From this waist gun here, they can't hit me, but I can hit them if I so desire. Getting here, though, was a pain, and so I started this roadway. We'll go from the end, and it started out as the King's Highway. And the reason is that I went up to the observation deck previously and started out at the 99th level. I thought it was like Route 66, I'll go Route 99. When I went through the mesas and things, as I came over the savannah, I thought it was easier just to drop on down and didn't keep the 99 level up. But it did work. I had to make the tunnels a little higher here so I could ride horses through them, and that being the quickest way through. And that's what I did. Substations along the way, of course, to work. And then here what was nice was going through, like the Pennsylvania Turnpike, I go through a mesa, got to my building material, and like the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and then I made a bridge over it. And that's kind of what I did. The wall system here works pretty good for keeping off. You don't need to do the double wall. I found that a single wall here will box you in. That lamb has been stuck there for eons now, for months. So is this llama. But it does keep mobs out. A couple of observation stations to explore the natural environment around here. Not much here, but I did kind of explore it. First substation going away from it was this one here, of course. Widen the corridors here on the 45 to get the horse through. And again, don't need the double wall. Later on, I dropped that entirely on the diagonals, didn't need that. Finally, you're coming in, we're back to the original observation tower here, my first high point out away. There is, of course, an access way to get in there. The first road came in from that highway there, and I had a staircase going up here. Later on, I decided to build this, and this is the elevated highway you saw from Mordor to here. Going from this point, though, I started to branch out, and while going through here was kind of neat and majestic, saw another biome that I thought was kind of neat, and I branched out. Instead of going up the diagonal here, what I did is I went straight out to the east, and I founded Mountain Home in a snow biome. I thought that was kind of neat. The cobblestone, you could basically compute it out, 2 across and a wall, so it's kind of 1 for 1. Along the way, I saw a village, and in that respect, I decided to make a stopping point, and this is kind of became my alpine house, using some of the wood from the area, and a very simple one, no mining operation here, just some chest in case, nothing really in there, a bed to rejuvenate. But the thing I did, and it's visible more at night, is I made a simple lit pathway here across the top of the mesa, and that brought me into a I took a staircase down and lit up a way here. The people here are alive, so I was able to save an Inca village. So, making up for past mistakes, again, found out the first thing is wall them off, then light them up. And we got happy people here, and they even got little kids running around. So everything's good here. Don't really do much with these people, but you know what? They're not being eaten by mobs. I don't think this is in fast forward. That's as fast as it's going to go. Okay. Well, anyway, going on to Mountain Home, I decided to make a shortcut over to my Sand City, and that almost becomes a nexus now for my elevated road system here. There we go. Finally, Mountain Home. Thought this would be a neat place. I didn't know what I was going to find in here. Thought find some good stuff in here. Nothing really spectacular. The normal stuff in that respect. We have Mountain Home. You got your chest, you got your beds, you got everything right here in one spot. Of course, I mined up, and then I mined down, I should say, and then I build up. Got my waist tier for observation. Got a little tower here above the clouds. This is I think one of the highest ones I got at 134. The clouds actually go through the building. But came back down. The last place I decided to build was Easter Island. And in that respect, it was kind of fun. From the town folk here, I had some pillagers that were beating the crap out of me. And having gone through the temple, got some TNT, made some more. And I decided after killing all these guys in here and freeing the golem, that I would blow the place up, which I did. I lined the floors underneath with TNT, made a column of TNT all the way down. Each floor had a little bit. And I put some, and after I killed all the guys, and I made some pressure plates, and at the top I left, and the captain came, he walked across it and blew them all up. And that was rather satisfying, except for the fact that it didn't make any noise. That really kind of disappointed me. There was no boom. The Easter Island was an interesting place. I came out here by boat first, and decided later on to make a roadway. Different biome, pine trees. It had wolves and foxes. Because of the wolves and foxes, I tried to keep some animals, but to no luck. They actually spawn inside of there, and the cow's the only thing that doesn't get eaten. Alpine village, again using native material, so to speak. Got some extra here from my friend Jackie. We got a couple beds in there, a couple suits of armor here. Downstairs, of course, all the workings. I do have a simple staircase going down below. Oops. And do have a mining operation. There was a neat ravine and a cave system here. Up on top, I made this nice polished diorite tower here at the 99th level. And so that was rather productive as far as finding the diamond. I decided to link this up. The diagonal road there came in second. The first thing I did was make this very long one here. Took thousands of blocks of cobblestone to do. Along the way, I made a station here because there were some interesting caves here on this mesa. I made a little stopping station. Of course, it's got waste around it for shooting at. Again, spiral staircase down and up to a top here. And underneath was pretty good. It was fairly fruitful. You have the second Sand City, dead one here with just a farmer in it, and this road takes us back. And now what we'll do is I'm going to take you all the way back from Easter Island, last place, another temple I raided, to the Tower of Mordor. And I'll show you my final avenue that I had to do, which was basically working underneath in the netherworld. Now my granddaughter had taken me into the netherworld, and what I knew about the netherworld is that I die a lot there. You know, falling is the number one thing. Stepping in lava is like number two. It's kind of a pain in the butt doing netherworld. Didn't really like it. And every time my granddaughter would take me in there, we'd get lost, and it was rather hard. But I said, I got to go in the netherworld because I want to get some potions. I want to breathe underwater. I want to do this underwater breathing thing. And so that's what I decided to do. I wasn't using the first substation I had, the main place I started at. So going on that theme, I decided to make a portal in there, and that's where we started the video at. And we'll finish up by going into the netherworld and showing you how I did that. Neat thing about the netherworld is that you get 8 to 1 underground. And that got me to a place that I probably wouldn't have gotten to otherwise. Everything, access being all underground, we got to go inside to go underground to get between buildings. I did that for security's sake. I thought it'd be safer underground. Less things spawn here because of the light level. Very interested in security, of course, being the sole guy. So put the gate in here again, popped into the netherworld, and came out to a place that just, I was kind of like disappointed because everybody else would make a netherworld and they'd be right by a fort somewhere, and I needed the fort to get 1, blaze rods, and 2, nether wart, which grows in, next to the lava there. And I come out in a place and I'm going like, what is this? There's like nothing around here, and everything is trying to kill me, and I'm not having any fun. And because of the gas were shooting at me, I, of course, walled off my portal so it wouldn't get destroyed. Lord forbid I get stuck in here. I didn't want that to happen. And so I come in here, a couple other doors here just to explore the outside, just to find out there's nothing around here. I went into a free creative mode like we are now, and I flew around for a couple hours and finally found a fort. In creative mode, I was able to map it out and decided that I would make a bridge tunnel to it. And that's what I have. Here is the tunnel portion that we just went through. So anytime you see cobblestone, it's a simple 6-block system. 2 on the wall, you got a floor, you got a ceiling. I didn't make it very fancy. I wasn't trying to because this place is trying to kill me. Left an opening here that I could go out. There is a partial portal there with the treasure in it. I haven't raided it yet. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 300 meters to the south here. And also in creative mode, when you're digging through this netherite, you can come across lava, a bucket of lava, just 1 block of it. Rather ruins your day. Not a lot of fun. So in that respect, doing it in creative mode, I was able to map all those out. So 300 meters down, 700 meters across, and I had to build this thing rather laboriously. I have skeletons shooting at me. Once they knocked me off my platform with their arrows, and I had to, fight for my life. Everybody's after me. Then I had to build it back up. And so I'll just quick do a thing here. Show you what it looks like from the outside. So again, your environment, not too nice. Ghast were always shooting at me. They're always around. The skeletons here with their arrows were a pain in the butt. Sometimes I drop a stone down and it would hit the ground, and so I just left them there because no sense go getting it. But if you want to get the 50-meter thing on a skeleton, you do it here because distance counts 8 for 1, and it's actually kind of neat. And so I got that trophy for doing that. I'm going to put my block back in here for something actually gets in here, and then we'll fly back down the quarter here. So just, again, out in the open, tunneling underneath, going between. Did keep some of this. Found out I can do most of the gold, but, it comes out to gold nuggets. I have enough gold. Wasn't really a problem. Somebody left a present behind for me. But we're just traveling through space here. Again, coming down with a lot of cobblestone. I'd fill the whole knapsack with cobblestone and I'd come through and do this because I wasn't using the natural materials. I didn't trust them here. Almost there. And I came to the end. I wanted to go a little bit away from the fort. I didn't want to be right next to it. So I found a nice place that was a little bit away. It was a fairly nice environment. I thought low ceiling here underneath where gas wouldn't be so want to get in here. I do have Endermen in this area. I said, but the first thing I got to do after securing a substation here, then I build another portal, and I need a place to rejuvenate. I need a place to respawn if I die down here, which happened. And so I popped up. Now the neat thing is, again, 8 to 1, I traveled, 700 over and 300 down, and now I'm at 61 and 100 and 2400. So that was kind of nice, and I pop up in the middle of a field next to a hillside. The hillside became basically the foundation for my house. But the first things first, I looked around and I saw a village, and I said, "Oh my goodness gracious, I can't build the house and have this village die." So I came here, walled it off, lit it up, and saved it. I didn't do much in the way of giving anybody jobs, but there are a couple jobs in here. Haven't really interacted with these guys that much. It just wasn't something that really interested me at the time. I did make a couple of golems, but they tend to get trapped in the water things out here underground. So going back to the house, did a little French provincial, kind of a standard layout here, more functional than anything else. Going on the second floor is the living quarters, and my master bedroom, of course. Downstairs, the workings. I now have my cooking area for my blaze rods, making my netherwort potions, so I can make all my potions. A few chests of things here. Coming up, I had with the 4 gables, I had a lot of room upstairs, and rather than waste it, I said, you know what? My son, who was playing, my daughter-in-law, and my friend Jackie were here, so I have beds for the 3 of them here that they can explore, nice and airy. Look out the windows, and we looked at that and we said, there's a temple under there. We need some water potions to go get it. And later on, Jackie and I did. And Jackie we found about soul sand and things like that would actually trap you underneath the water. And unfortunately, she met her demise there, but well, she responded rather well. Now the whole point again was to get the netherwort, which I now have, and I brought out and I farmed it, so I don't have to go down in there to get it. All I got to do is go down there to get blaze rods from time to time, and I do that. So coming in here, showing you the last little final thing, getting into the netherworld. We'll go back down, building terrain, and go up through the my double locked observation booth. Nothing around. I'll go out. When I built this one, took a little bit more time. It wasn't so far. Built it a little better. Not a little bit more room. Left the windows in here so I could see out, see what's going on around me. Rather interesting terrain here. And I stopped at the first part, I'm going to say somewhere close to here where there was a pathway. Unfortunately, what I found out then walking on the ground was rather hazardous because these guys all would attack me. But I found that doing this and having the windows here was kind of neat. What I could do, and there's one of them there. Coming up here, there's another one. Yeah, there's a blaze rod place there, a generator. I'll let the generators go because I want the blaze rods there. Well, if I try to go back on foot, these guys were killing the heck out of me. It was about a 150-meter gauntlet. So I extended the bridge here all the way to the fort where I could have just a little bit, outside, look around. I could fight in the fort better because mostly with the hallways, didn't have that problem. Found my netherwort, of course, with the blaze rods. I got the ammo I need. Here's made this a little bit nicer than the one outside. The pillars were just for fun. That was another ladder attempt. And I had a, way back here somewhere is another spot. Yeah, this is where it first ended, here at the start of the walkways. And that was just too far away. Hey, trust me, you got, like 10, 12 guys on you. It's really hard. Your health goes down fast. But explored mapped out the fort, got my stuff, a lot of neat stuff in here. I got my blaze rods. And other than that, this sort of ends the what I have for you right now. And I'd like to thank you very much for coming along today. And there we go. And let you see a little bit of my world, and have a good one.